In February, I presented at the Women's Caucus for Art's National Convention about art and healing. Afterwards, I did a piece using my mom's snapshots that I had been cutting up and painting on. However, this time I was using them as a silhouette and stencil. I was thinking about the statistics of getting cancer in my family, and I was working out the ratios of women in breast cancer. I did a piece called Still Here. That was on February 20th. It was a busy few weeks between opening an exhibit and then having to pick up my daughter from college as our lives were beginning to change. By March 15th, I entered my studio as the official quarantine began. I declared my intention on Instagram to create and post a new piece of art every day during the quarantine. I wrote, "Even though I started this series before the outbreak, it seems more meaningful during this crazy time." People started responding that my figures were not socially distanced. Our perceptions were already changing, and our ideas about being close together were suddenly tainted with fear. Part of the project challenge was that I had to use materials I already found in my studio. I had a box of paper gifted to me by the late artist Judith Roth's family. That connection was particularly inspirational, as she was the master of work on paper. I've seldom done serious work on paper, and I was loving the feel of it. Rolling paint on paper was meditative, and the blending of colors soothing. Then I began using my cut-up writing from old artist statements to notes found in my studio. This fear of illness and the risks we take have infiltrated my work for years, but now the reporting of the statistics of illnesses were everyday occurrences. Each day I posted on Instagram, I wrote a short comment or reflection on the day. Some days it was COVID-19 related. Some days it was a response to the politics of the time. And some days it was insight into the piece posted. I hadn't known when I started that 108 days would pass, but now I have a visual record with a kind of journal-like entry to mark this unique time. On May 31st, my 56th birthday, I created Day 78. I believed that Phase 2 was lifting and that the quarantine was lessening. Therefore, I planned to mark the quote-unquote end of the quarantine, and in honor of my birthday, I offered a $100 sale, half of which I would donate to charity. $25 I would donate in the purchaser's name to the Art Center Highland Park, where I work as a curator and know the devastation and struggles of the shutdown as a nonprofit organization. An additional $25 would be donated to a charity of the purchaser's choice. However, what I learned on June 1st was that nothing had really changed at all. I still wasn't going to the grocery stores or pharmacies. I still wasn't seeing my huge extended family or my kids who live out of state. It wasn't until the next few weeks passed that there were incremental changes, where I was finally able to see family at a distance outside. On Father's Day, I hugged my sister and held my great niece. That was a remarkable day. As of today, I've sold 16 pieces, with many more slated for upcoming exhibits. I've learned to value my time in my studio as the silver lining of quarantine taught me how to prioritize my time. I may not pick out my own fruit and vegetables, and there are sometimes glitches to the food deliveries. However, I am able to spend more time in my studio and to do my work from home, so that by dinner we can all meet in the kitchen to cook together. Ultimately, my daughter drove here, which was yet a new stage and a huge bonus. We have broadened our quarantine to include extended family, outdoors, of course. Our bubble has expanded, but with that has come new stressors. Each day I continue to post, and often people respond to the changes, the growing number of people in the images, the transitions of color. And as the world moved into protest mode, I created pieces to honor the injustice, to honor the movements. There remains a stillness and uncertainty. We are on shaky ground that questions our normal routines. Will my son go back to California and find work? Will my daughter go back to college in the fall? Will my husband go back to a crazy travel schedule? Will I go back to the Art Center to install the next exhibit? We are planning for a new normal. What I am sure of is that I will continue on my drive and desire to create every day, to mark my days with creative process that is healing and reflects a universal condition of the effects of facing our mortality. For more than 30 years, my work has been connected to family and heredity, to body with its strengths and vulnerabilities, and to finding and expressing meaning in life.